Just you, me, and the odds. We stuck together, we two peas in a pod. You dealt a bad hand, I'm there seizing the cards. We'll never be separated till we see in the gods.
Welcome back, everyone, to another Raid Shadow Legends video by Clam. Today we're showcasing Lua. She is an AoE nuker. She's void affinity, so you don't have to worry about any weak hits or anything like that. And the way that I built her, I'm doing this in two parts. One, I've got her in unleveled gear. Everything's at level 12, or almost everything is, other than 3 pieces. And then I'm going to come in, I'm going to level up all the gear, I'm going to glyph it, and I'll show you more of an end game build. So as you can see, all of the accessories are level 12. So the only things that aren't leveled in the artifacts is the chest, the boots, and the shield. So this will hopefully be closer to like a mid-game build, or at least as close as I can get. And to give you an idea of, how this will work for you in your game, depending on what progression you're at. So then in her stats, I've got her at 30,000 HP, 4,700 attack. So that I feel, somewhere between that 4,000 and 5,000 range. It's kind of that mid-game build. I could be wrong about that, but I think that's not too bad there. 1,700 defense. She's not a tanky champion. She only has 771 defense. That makes it really hard to stack defense on her. If you're going to put it on, it has to be through flat attack. Percentages just won't do a whole lot. You give her 10% defense, she gets 71 defense. It's just not going to add up quickly. I've got her at full crit rate. I've got her at 210 crit damage. This is going to skyrocket once I level her up later. Don't feel bad if you can't get these exact numbers, but this is just to be as close as I can really get with the gear that I choose to save. I don't care about accuracy or resistance. There is accuracy in her build, but I'm not utilizing it. Other people might, because it does reduce turn meter 100%. It's a very strong skill. If you build her for dungeons, I think accuracy would be a good way to go, to mix that into your build if you can. But if you're using her in arena, I just want her to hit really, really hard. Most importantly, I've got her at 187 speed. This is, if anything, a little faster than I want her to be. 170 to 190 is a good range to have your attack champions in the arena if you're using a CC champion to go with them. What you want to do, you want somebody to go fast, boost at other people's turn meter. Then you want somebody to CC them. Then you want to debuff them. And then you want to hit them really hard. So the way I'm going to do it when I'm in arena will be Sifi goes into Kaimar, who's going to strip and sleep them. Then Madame Saris is going to debuff them, and she does it without waking anybody up, and she does it without possibly weak hitting or anything because she's void, and she also doesn't hit. She just places. So she'll be also stripping. She'll be doing that decreased defense, decreased attack, and then I'm going to hit him with Lua. Hopefully, I never have to go past that. If I do, I'll use her other skills, and hopefully we'll survive. But because she's not very tanky, I'm hoping to finish most people off on the first try. With this gear and where I'm at in arena, that might not happen, but we'll give you a good baseline in probably going to Dragon. That's where a lot of people go to showcase their champions. Remember, I'm not giving her god tier gear, and during the first part at least, I'm not going to be using Weaken. I'm not going to be using Gerptalk. I'm not going to be using Bad Al, who I don't even have. I'm not going to be trying to boost it as high as it can possibly go. I'm going to try to make it more realistic about what you can expect in the part of the game that you're at. Then we'll come in later, make her god tier, or as close as we can get to it. So I've got her in, I believe it's called Lethal Set, which is like Savage, except you get some crit rate with it. And then I've got her in Cruel, which is, again, it ignores a little more defense, so another 5% defense, but it also gives 15% attack. So this helps us get the stats up there. In total, she's going to be ignoring 30% defense. And then down here in the accessories, I went with counterattack accessories across the board. I did sacrifice a little bit on the attack, but not much for this. She does have a pretty cool A1, so I was like, you know what? If she can get some, counterattacks out there, that'll help her win some arena battles. Now, what do her skills do? Her A1 attacks one enemy and then deals 50% of the inflicted damage to all enemies if this attack is critical. I did not find that the other attacks utilized her ignore defense. I don't think it does, because I would see when I was testing, I'd see 30 or I'd see 60,000 damage on that A1, and then I would see only like 7,000 damage on the other champions. So I'm not sure what was going on there, or if I'm reading something wrong, but that's what I noticed. But it's a very strong attack anyway, because it does decent damage for an A1, and then it's still doing more damage to the other champions as well. Her A2 is her money ability, or at least one of them. The other one's pretty cool too. This one attacks all enemies 3 times. Each critical hit heals this champion by 2.5% hit points. I'm ignoring that part. I don't care about that part, because hopefully everybody's dead by the time she uses it. If you're using her in dungeons, that's great. She's got some built-in lifesteal. Nothing wrong with that. But this hits really, really hard. And it's going to hit 3 times. So by the time it adds up, it's at like 4.2%, or 4.2 times attack once you add up all 3 hits. So, this is comparable to like Big Un and some other like of the really good AoE nukers out there. And she's Void Affinity. So fantastic there. The other good part about a triple hit on AoE is if they do still have their reaction accessories up, the odds that she's gonna, miss that 50% chance or 75% chance or 25% chance of that reaction accessory proccing for at least, 1 or 2 of those hits. Some champions, especially attack champions, aren't very tanky, so it might only take 1 of these hits to take them down. And then her third one, which is a 6 times multiplier. So this is really strong. This one attacks 1 enemy, decreases the target's turn meter by 100%. So if you build her with accuracy, all right, so her A3 has a 6 times multiplier. That's really, really strong. And it attacks 1 enemy, decreases the target's turn meter by 100% if you build her with accuracy. This is really strong in like in dungeons. This is really strong in Doom Tower when you really need to knock somebody back. And then it will ignore shield and block damage buffs. So, the Krisks out there, and the tower, the people who are putting up, the block damage on everybody. This goes right through that. So you don't have to worry about them. It's not as strong as Rhodos's skill, but it's still very, very good. And this again hits extremely hard. It hits with a 6 times multiplier. So, build that attack high, build the crit damage high, and she's going to be hitting really hard with this. I will show you the masteries at the end of the video, but for now, let's get into some dungeons and let's see what we can do. We got 3%ed on one of them. So what we're going to do is not do the AoE skill on this one, because it won't give us an accurate representation. We will use her other skills, see how hard they hit. So first we will ignore defense, and let's attack this guy over. Or no, we're not ignoring defense. We're ignoring shield buff and block damage. So none of them have that up, so it doesn't really matter, but it's still a hard hitting skill. She's got attack up, she's got defense down, and that's it. She's got nothing else to boost it other than the masteries. And 131,000. She took them out in 1 hit. That is a very strong skill. So her A3, very strong. Okay, then her A1. Let's take a look. I'm going to attack Horden. I think this is Horden. I'm going to attack him. We'll be able to see that multiplier, but I'm going to keep an eye out on how much damage it does on these other 2 champions. Again, I don't think it's 50%. I'm not sure exactly how this works. If you know, please tell me in the comments why it works that way. But here we are. And I saw under 10,000. I didn't pay attention to what happened on Horden. So I'm guessing it wasn't under 20,000 what she hit with, but I could be wrong. Yeah, there it was like 30,000. And then when it hit him, it was like 4. I think maybe decreased defense does affect them, but I think the ignore defense only counts on the first hit, not on the second. And that's really unfortunate. It really kind of limits the strength of her A1. If you were using her with like Giant Slayer or something, it would proc. So that's where I'm not too not too happy with the way they did that. So the good news here, we've got the decreased defense on everybody. So we can do her A3 here, or sorry, her A2 here. And we've got the attack up. Now here we go in with her A2. How is she hitting in this gear? I'm seeing between 26 and 30 from each one. So we're probably in the 90,000 range across the board. So, you know, add that up. You know, AoE with 90 damage with the gear she's got on. It's really, really, really good stuff. So I'm very happy with that. We'll come in later, see how high we can get that to go. But basically, we've got an A3 that finished off one of the champions in one hit. It was hitting like over 100,000. We just hit 100,000 there. And we've got the AoE that was adding up to close to 100,000 on its own. So that's clearly an insanely cool skill. Okay, now that we've shown you the dragon and we've shown you what her moves can do, so here we are in Arena. This is Gold 5. What I'm not going to be able to do is put together like a War Maiden team or, you know, like lower the stats on all my other champions to take on these Arena teams and show you what that's like. I have to bring in champions that can take on these champions, or all we'll do is walk into here, get wiped over and over and over again. So what I'm doing is I've got her gear dialed down, but everybody else will be dialed up. But she'll be our only real damage dealer. We're going to go Sifi into Kaimar, into Madame Saris, into her, and we're going to see how this goes. This one's a little scary because I can't ignore Skullcrown's unkillable, but I do have champions that can strip it, and usually she doesn't have much health left when she goes. So so there we went. Sifi sped everybody up, put some buffs on ourselves. By the way, we don't have attack up on this team, so I'll probably switch that out and put Arbiter in here. And instead of Sifi or instead of Kaimar, just to see if we can get some attacks off. It won't be a great team, but without attack up here. Now, the reason we use sleep, both Sifi and Kaimar, they pair so well together because they both do sleep. We're going to do our triple hitter, and everybody's down except Skullcrown. So I'm very happy with that. We can bring everything back. And there we are. So, hey, not leveled gear, a little over 200 crit damage and under 5,000 attack in Gold 5 Arena. Pretty good, pretty good. Let's see who else we can fight here. This is going to be, let's do this team first, and then we'll try to take on a team with a +4 Canderfon and I mean, that team's probably going to win, but let's see here. So Madame Sarah strips everyone, keep her asleep, and we attack. This time we didn't kill everybody. Arbiter's going to get the chance to, and I've got it on auto right now, but Arbiter's going to get the chance to revive. That's okay. We're going to get another attack here. All right, there we go. Yeah, and keep in mind, we don't have attack up on our champions, and it's kind of weird. I run a team that uses no decreased defense and no attack up in Arena. So if you can stack enough stats, you don't need it, and then nobody can resist what you're doing. Nobody can strip off what you're doing. So let's try this team. They're probably going to win. They have it's a +4 Duchess and a +4 Canderfon. So I don't see how we're going to win this, but there's nothing wrong with trying. So let's, and they're almost all in Stone Skin. So this is why I did a video called Stone Skin Duchess is a Problem. All right, we're going to try this team here. Now they've got a Vogoth. That's a little problematic when you have an AoE champion. So what I'm going to do is try to take him out. And we did. So 109,000. Again, no attack up, no defense down. Or no attack up. So we had no attack up. Then I don't think we need to, well, I'm only going to reset the skills because Oh, I do need to do that. Okay. All right, so we're going to take out Vogoth again. And now things will get a little dicey. If they have a really strong Masha Led, we could be in trouble, except we're going to put him to sleep. So we won't be. And then we will just keep the champions from hurting us. And now we've got attack down. We're using this AoE. We're going to see what happens here. Oh, the attack down really hurt us there. But we'll sleep them again, and we'll win this. All right. So really no problem there. I would suggest her be in a team, and I built her to actually be in a team for 3v3 that will be with Arbiter. So she's going to have attack up when she attacks. It's definitely not a team that'll win every time because my Arbiter's not nearly as fast as my Sifi. Not that my Sifi wins every time either, because I don't have the fastest Sifi in the world. She's fast, but she's not as fast. Okay, let's change the team up. Oh yeah, we want no Sifi. So we're gonna go, maybe we do go Sifi Arbiter. No, because we're slow, we need to sleep people. There's a good chance we'll have some fails in here because without having that really fast champion to go first, we're really going to be going slow in comparison to what we usually go. So yeah, they do get to go first. We're probably dead. Yep. This is not good. But we got our attack up. We're going to sleep them now and strip them. All right, no. Oh, we will have decrease down now. So now attack up and decrease down, and Arbiter is going. Now let's. Nobody's asleep. I don't want to get their defense down up. So one of the problems with going against Seeker with her is on a triple hit, he could proc his decreased defense on the first hit, which means the next two, or sorry, his defense up on the first hit, which means the next two are gonna, not hit as hard. I don't think this is gonna be a problem with our attack up. So let's just see. Yeah, everybody else died. He almost died. Good enough. All right. Let's get him. I didn't see what numbers were being hit there, but obviously she hit pretty hard to get through that decreased defense. This team will beat us. They're probably faster than us. Although if they're using ninja, they might not be. They're not faster than us. This is going to be a fun test because we're going to have everything out there. And she's going to get to go and nuked everybody down like they were nothing. So there we go. One thing I sometimes look for in Arena if I'm picking and choosing fights, and I don't pick and choose very often, I'll avoid certain people that I know my team can't take on, or I'll switch teams to match them, but usually I don't bother switching teams. What I'll look for is a champion that I'm like, hey, that is a good champion, but odds are if they're using them, they started a lot more recently than I did, so they're not going to be going as fast as me. So that can be a good indicator. If you see Ninja's been around a while now, but I had been playing probably 2.5 years by the time he came out. Maybe it was 2 years, something like that when he came out. So I was able to farm a lot more gear before they could. They still could have spent, outspent me by 3 times, and, then they could have faster gear, but odds are they aren't going to be faster. What we're going to do now, I'll show you one more time the way I've got her built, and then we're going to use the magic of editing, and we're going to come back in, and we're going to show you what I've built her out to be after that. So here she is again, 30,000 hit points, less than 5,000 attack, less than 2,000 defense, 187 speed, that won't change, 100% crit rate, that won't change. Crit damage will go up dramatically, and I don't care about resist and accuracy. So we're going to go in. Again, I couldn't change my Great Hall. I couldn't like turn it off or anything like that. That would actually be kind of nice for making videos. And then, you know, I can't just change what gear I have on my accounts. So by not leveling her up, we were able to showcase her a lot closer to what people in the mid game might be able to have. Mid to late game, depending on what you consider mid to late game to be. That is debatable. But at the very least, this is not the best God tier gear you can have. But I feel like she was still God tier in Arena. So she's very good, probably underrated. I don't see her used very often. The reason I decided to build her was I got absolutely wiped by somebody who had that. I was running Sifi, Kymar, and 2 Rhodoses. Somebody else went faster than me and basically just nuked me down with her triple hit. It is a Rhodos killer because, you know, he stops at the 50% mark and cuts in, but not if you get hit with multiple hits. So Big Un, her, you know, champions that do hit multiples with AoE are really good against him, or really multiples at all. That's why Canderfon's strong against Rhodos as well. So anyway, and she's Void Affinity, so I don't have to swap her out for Affinity. So I'm really happy with how she did. There's definitely teams out there that with this level gear wouldn't be able to handle, you know, a Necret, Duchess, Usurga, you know, those stall defenses and stuff. Intermission, I'll gear her up, level this stuff up, and then we'll come back in and show you how strong we were able to make it. Welcome back, everyone, for the second half of the video. I have leveled up all the gear on Lua now so that she's at, you know, max 16 on everything. And then also I glyphed as well. So we've got her built, I think, as good as I'm going to build her. I wouldn't say, when we say kind of end game here, I don't mean, you know, the end game build of like a +4 Lua. You know, the whales that go after this stuff and spend their entire paychecks pulling shards and stuff like that. Those guys don't need this video from me. So if you've been playing a long time and you're, you know, ready to build like an end game build for her, you know, gold 5 arena, you know, maybe you try to push plat with it, but you know, you're not trying to get like first or second place and compete with those crazy whales out there. So let's take a look at her, what we've got her built up to now. Okay, here we are. Her hit points are still really low, 32,000. She is a glass cannon, so I'm really not worried about that. Her defense is still under 2,000. Again, it's really hard to put defense on her with, you know, just having 771 for defense. So she's clearly meant to be a nuker. She's meant to be a glass cannon. You'll want to bring her into arena with somebody who's going to CC the enemy so she gets a chance to go, or somebody like a Duchess that will veil her, you know, something along those lines. Really, CC is probably the best way to go with her. But in the attack, we've got 5,600, so not bad on attack. That could be higher, but it's okay. And then we've got 252 crit damage. What I didn't do was go like, you know, strip all the gear off of one of my Rhodoses or something like that and put it on her. But I'll be completely honest. I've tested her out in arena, and I might just use her for farming. You know, there's a lot of pretty quick matches that happen because of it, even quicker than my regular team. So she's working out pretty well. So again, I'm not going to worry about the accuracy, and her speed's at 192 now. I actually meant for that to stay slower, but I accidentally rolled speed on a couple things on that last stat. So not the end of the world to be at 192. That's fine. Once in a great while, she'll be faster than somebody in the arena, and their reaction accessories won't deactivate. But that's okay. Not a big deal. Okay, first we're going to bring her back into the Dragon 20 and take a look at what she can do here. We got the defense down on everybody. What I may do as well is bring in Lydia, so we can get a real accurate, how hard can she hit, or maybe even just all the max damage just to see. But for now, I think we're looking pretty good here. So we've got attack up, and let's see the big triple hit. All right, so I saw some 40s in there, some 30s, so probably hitting in the ballpark of 100,000 which is not bad for an AoE at all. This is obviously no seer. Okay, her A1 again. So 58 against him and about 10 against them. So again, it's not factoring in the ignore defense from her, you know, artifacts and stuff. And that's a shame. I think if it did, she'd just be like the biggest beast possible, I think. Okay, this time, oh, we didn't get it on everybody, but we can go in and do it now. Now we do. All right, we're going to do our ignore defense shot again. This time, let's go against somebody tough. Let's go against Tyrell. And 98,000 against Tyrell, so that's pretty good. That's right, I don't think I had attack up there. So we're going to try this again. Okay, we're going to do the ignore shield one against Horden here. And 168,000. So that was with attack up and defense down. That's going to wipe out most of the champions we'll be up against. There are some people in Doom Tower, of course, that it won't, but when it comes to running the dungeons, that's going to be a very powerful attack. All right, let's take a look. We got attack up, defense down. This is our triple hitter. 30, 38, 37. So over 100,000 against the dragon there. So she can definitely put in work even against the bosses. And, you know, 65,000 off of her A1, not bad at all. Okay, A1 again. 75,000 off her A1. That's a really strong A1. I'm down with that. Okay, now we have attack up and defense down. 171,000. So that's a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage. So she can definitely put in the work here. So for those of you who are waiting for it, we've got Gerptuck, who came in to give her extra damage with the poison stacks. We've got attack up. We've got defense down. We've got weaken, and we've got an attack aura. So this is pretty close to the hardest she could hit. I don't have Bad L, so I couldn't bring him in. And I think the only other thing would be if I had them under some form of CC like sleep, because I've got her built that way because I have Kymar. Okay, so here we are. Let's see how hard we can hit these guys. And we took down the entire wave. So she's very, very strong if you set her up correctly. Okay, let's hit Tyrell. And 214,000. So that's pretty good for the way I've got her set up here. That was her A3. All right, we're going to do her A1 here. 119,000 set up this way. And then that looked like around 150,000 on the triple hitter, maybe just under. Okay, what we're really here for is Arena. I'm in gold 5. We got some teams to try to take down here. I think I'll start out with this. We're not going to have any attack up. All right, this one's, I'm just going to leave it on auto. I don't think we'll have any trouble with it. Yeah, she just mowed them down. If you don't have any super tanky champs, then it's just a speed race. Unfortunately, well, we will get the reset for Madame Saris, so we should be able to take Leorius out that way. Oh, we didn't even proc it. Yeah, Leorius is probably going to be a problem here. He's going to be at max potential. All right, the good news is if they don't build their Leorius strong enough to kill everybody, then the unkillable, just doesn't matter at that point. All right, I'm doing this one because this will involve shields because of Valkyrie. Unless I strip them all, which we did. But there was at least the potential of shields, I guess. There we go. All right. 92,000 on that last hit. Not bad without attack up. Yeah, she has some capability of taking care of the tanky teams because of that like single target nuke that she has. The issue with the tanky teams, if they have like more than one tanky champion especially, is the fact that she doesn't have a lot of health. She doesn't have a lot of defense, so it's really hard to keep her alive through that while you whittle down and you take out those tanky champs. So here, other than, you know, Krisk and sometimes Syl, nobody should be too tanky. Yeah, this should not be a problem. Now, I will say Gold 5 does not feel like the Gold 5 of a month ago. I think a lot of teams who have probably strong offenses but not super strong defenses are making their way into Gold 5 because of the fact that they've kind of shut off arena losses right now. Your defense doesn't have to be very strong. I think you can only lose 5 matches in a day until they don't count against your score anymore. All right, so I think you guys are getting the point here. What she does is hit hard, and she ignores shield. So there isn't, and she only does that on one skill. But she hits hard, and she hits 3 times with that AoE, and that is significant. There's good reason that that is helpful. Reaction accessories have X% to proc, and I think the highest is 75%. So if you're getting 3 hits out there, there's a decent chance at least one of those is not going to be a weak hit. All right, well, we're done mowing down the competition. Lua is a beast. I think if you pulled her, be happy to build her. I don't think you're going to regret it. I can't guarantee you'll use her forever. You never know who you're going to pull. You might pull Trunda or, you know, Leorius the Proud or whatever, and you might get multiple copies. And even in 3v3, you might not need her. That's totally possible, but she's Void. She's an epic, so you can book her much easier than you can a legendary. Her skills are all good. There's none that are bad as far as nukers go. She's got 1 triple hitter that is AoE and hits really hard. She's got 1 single target nuke that hits incredibly hard and goes through shield and goes through block damage as well. And then she's got an A1 that hits like a tank. I kind of wish it just didn't do the surplus damage thing, though. The one negative to it, if you're using a sleep champion like Kymar, or probably only Kymar, well, I guess in Sifi too, you go and you attack that champion you want with her A1, and you want to leave everybody else asleep while that excess damage shoots over to them and wakes them up. So her A1 will wake up the enemies if they're under sleep. So the best champions to pair her with would be probably stun champions. That would be number 1. And then I would say freeze or taunt would also be good. So so there we are. That's Lua in all her glory. I am going to go through her masteries real quick for you. Now, before you cover masteries, do a couple things. 1, always look through the skills first. See what they have that, you know, might benefit from the masteries tree. The other thing to do is think about who they're going to be paired with on your, especially if it's an arena, but on any of your teams. If you're going to be putting her with TikToc, then you're going to want, you know, a specific mastery. If you're going to have her with Kymar, you want a specific mastery, that sort of thing. And I'll kind of show you what those are, but don't follow masteries blindly. These are a guide, and I would just use them as that. Okay, so what are we using for her masteries and why? What we want, by the way, if you're using TikToc, the one that I mentioned before, you're going to want Stoke to Fury. Stoke to Fury is 12% for all those poisons that he puts on you. That's a huge increase. I did not have that on her when we were doing that testing earlier. If I did, she'd have been hitting even harder. I also should have taken deterrence. I really wasn't thinking that clearly about it at the time, but anytime somebody else in your team gets CC'd, she's got a chance to counterattack. So that could be huge there. But I just went crit rate, crit damage into max HP, or when she has full HP, she's going to hit 5% harder. Then we go down to Whirlwind of Death. It's just going to speed her up as she kills champions. And then we go into Ruthless Ambush. It increases the damage inflicted for the first hit on each enemy. So if she has full HP, because we go first, and then it's her first hit against the enemy, that goes up to 13% now. So that's a nice increase. Then I know I'm going to be using some form of CC. I think everybody should in Arena whenever they can, at least in their Arena offense, so that their nukers have time to get set up. I would say for me, I use Kymar, so Sleep is the one that will trigger this. But if you use a stun champion, Fear, True Fear, like Madame Saris, or Lydia, you know, those are great to have. Freeze, and then Petrification. I'm not sure how that works. Petrification like decreases the amount of damage you can do to that champion. They're kind of locked out, but you can't really hurt them that badly, as far as I know, with anything other than bombs. So maybe it applies mostly to bombs. What I did notice, this does not work with taunt. So if you taunt somebody, it's not gonna increase the damage at all. Then we've got Cycle of Violence. This one's really important. Anytime you take somebody down 30% of their health, you should be doing that with your nuker. That should be happening pretty much every time. And then you've got a 30% chance of it reducing the cooldown of that big skill you just used. So that can just be a huge advantage in the arena and other areas of the game as well. This is the one I shouldn't have picked, Methodical. It just increases her A1 after she, you know, each time she attacks, it's a little stronger, up to 10%. It would be fine, but you know, I really see this more as like she does have a strong A1, but I'm not bringing her into Clan Boss or anything like that. So I don't think this was the best choice. I should have gone with the counterattack mastery instead. This one, again, everyone I kill gives me more damage, or gives her more damage, up to 12%. So as the match goes on, she keeps getting stronger and stronger. And then most importantly, Helm Smasher. This should always be on your nuker. The only way that you would ever choose anything other than this is if your nuker's so strong that without this, they're still going to kill everybody every time. You know, maybe Trunda. Trunda might be able to get away without this, but that's it. So I would say definitely take Helm Smasher. And then on the defense tree, I don't really care how you get to Retribution, but I would take Retribution and I would take Deterrence. The other important one is, a lot of people call it the best mastery for Arena in the whole game. It's a 50% chance to remove one random debuff when they lose 25% of their max HP or more from a single enemy skill. So you get hit hard while you're stunned or something, it can knock you out of that stun, or it can knock, well, you would knock out of sleep anyway, but it can knock you out of that freeze or that petrification or whatever. So I would highly recommend that one. And the rest, you know, extra defense, whatever, that stuff always helps. There's nothing in her kit for the support tree. All right, so that's my Lua. What did you think? I covered her with kind of a mid-game build. I covered her with closer to an end-game build. She's quite the champion. She's Void. She has great attack skills. That's all she has. Everything is about attack. Build her as such. Don't try to... I don't think you should try to make her tanky. I don't think you should try anything. Just make sure you put people on her team that can keep her alive. So that's Lua, a crazy AoE nuker. And I can't believe I waited as long as I did to build her. This was a lot of fun. So I'm glad I did this, and I'm glad I did this video for you. Please, please comment. Let me know what you think. Have you pulled Lua? Are you looking to build her? Have you already built her and you love her? You know, what are your thoughts on Lua? And also, what did you think of that kind of like showing two different builds for her? Is that something you liked? Or do you feel I should have just stuck to the strongest build I could do to show you the max potential? Let me know what you think in the comments. So again, I'm the Clam Boss. This is another Raid Shadow Legends video, and please subscribe to my channel. It would mean a lot to me.
It's just you, me, and the odds. We stuck together, we two peas in a pod. You dealt a bad hand, I'm there seizing the cards. We'll never be separated till we seeing the gods. We've been low together, high forever. Long as we go together, we'll die whenever. Be a light, couldn't let the darkness try you ever. Truth in my word, you I lie to never.